Please welcome Graham Schetzel, and I think he's got Jennifer with him too, the owners of the Sylvan Lake Gulls. No, it's just Graham at the beautiful ballpark I've been hearing so much about. And they got Brooks tomorrow. We've got over here Moose Jaw taking on Regina, Saskatoon, Medicine Hat. And the other semis on that side, and Lethbridge, Okotoks on the other. Graham, welcome to the RP Show. How you doing, sir?
Yeah. Good. Thanks for having me. Can you hear me okay, Rod?
I can hear you 100%,
okay?
and you look
good.
Yeah, I can hear you fine. I hope you can hear us. I'm guessing Joe Whitbread set you up with all this. I want to say, Graham, congratulations on an historic season with the Gulls, man. Most wins ever, selling out every game. How does it feel? How does it feel?
It feels good, although today has a bit of a... Last night it felt really good, but today has more of a back-to-work kind of feel because we're not done. We all sort of agreed last night that, hey, let's celebrate 44 wins. It is a big deal, but we have our eye on the bigger prize. We want to have a long playoff run, so it's kind of back to work today, but yeah, it feels good so far.
I love chatting with the owners because it's been very interesting, just trying to figure out your why, and if we have time, what makes you tick. But what got you guys involved with baseball there in beautiful central Alberta and with the Gulls and just making and having it come to fruition? It feels like, Graham, if you build it, it will come Kevin Costner scenario. Am I right?
I guess you could look at that today and the average, to the naked eye, it certainly looks kind of that easy, but it's taken a lot of work and effort and time to get to this point. It feels like to a lot of people it just popped up out of the prairie and we got this ballpark, but there was a lot of 2-3 years of slugging through the mud during COVID, construction, engineering plan, all that stuff. I guess the why is, well, first of all, we're passionate about the game. Both Jen, and my apologies that Jen couldn't make it, she had other obligations, but we were involved in youth sports for our kids and ourselves our entire lives. So now we're empty nesters. We had sold out of our previous business, so it was kind of what's next for us. And then the timing, the stars just aligned just right to enter the league. And once we found out the development that Sylvan Lake, the municipality, had going on here out at Pagalo Park was happening, the discussions started happening with them, and we could see it was a perfect fit. The Red Deer market had no team at the time, so obviously, a niche that we felt could be filled if we did it properly.
Well, I'm not sure if you know, I am the voice of the Moose Jaw Miller Express, so I talked to our players and I said, what's your favorite road ballpark? And the majority say Sylvan. What's special about that? Because there are some great ones, so what's special about that one?
Well, first of all, you're right. There are some great ones. So we love our ballpark, but I also love many of the other parks in this league. This is obviously a lot. It's designed a little more modern than many of the other ballparks, kind of with the intimacy factor in mind. So you're really, even on a night when we may have a lighter crowd, it always feels full. There's always an energetic vibe, and that's credit to the way the ballpark was designed. We're all pretty tight. And on a playoff night, if we win, we do get 2,000 people in here. It's shoulder to shoulder, and it's really fun. So yeah, it's just a positive vibe, and it's quite honestly, it's a social night out. There's little groups of people hanging out, having a good time, watching the baseball game, and the facility just kind of lends itself to that experience.
What do you like about your team? And I say this with a bit of a twinkle in my eye. 44 wins. They're very talented. I'll say this. They're a little cocky. We had a brush up, a brouhaha when they were through here. They got swagger. Let's say that. The Gulls have swagger. Am I right?
I think probably that's fair to say. But I also think it's fair to say that any team that's going to win, any team that's good has to have a little bit of swagger, I feel like. We want to be first class on and off the field, so of course we always want to keep that in mind. But what I like about our team, I guess, is probably I like our pitching stuff. I like our lineup. We're deep, all that stuff. But there really is a never quit attitude. We've had a lot of games here. We've been behind in just about every game the last week and a half, it feels like. But we're never out of a ball game. The other team's got to get us out 27 times, and our guys understand that, and they make you battle for all 27 of them.
Yeah. Well, and hey, I don't want to start something. I'll say they're good and they know it. right? And this is just a competitive thing that I'm saying. No, they represented the town and the franchise tremendously here. There's no doubt about that. So the guys from the league wanted me to ask you about Gulls Give. What can you tell me about that initiative?
Well, and I really wish Jen were here for that to talk on that point, but I guess I'm on the board as well, and her and I are both very actively involved in it. We, from day one, we knew that being part of the community was key. We're very small town people, so we understand the importance of being part of a community and giving back. And if organizations like us and credit also to the business community and the sponsors that we have, because they're right there with us. If we don't give back to some of these initiatives, then who the heck is, right? So it's another part of our organization that takes time, it takes work, but it's been very rewarding.
Well, it's making change in the mental health field, which is another one that I work in as a mental health professional. What can you tell us? What I know is people don't usually do an effort like that unless they have a connect. Can I ask you why it's important to you?
Well, I guess like anybody, you always know people who are, you tend to want to help the things that have affected your life personally, and that's affected Jen's life, really closely. So she has a really keen awareness of it. That was her mandate. At the very beginning, we had the discussion, okay, we're going to sell 50/50s, we're going to have a golf tournament, and we're hopefully going to raise this money, but, why and where does that money go? And she was very adamant that it's important to her, it's important to me, that's where the money goes. We are a firm believer in helping the vulnerable people. We don't really want to we don't want to channel any extra help to the people that don't need it. So that's a real keen focus of the organization.
Well, good for you. There's a vast amount of people that do, as
Absolutely.
you know. Last week we had the president of the league on, Kevin Kwame at Lethbridge. This must have reached your ears. He said that there's been expansion interest. Airdrie, Grand Prairie, Lloydminster, and as far away as Brandon. People are looking at Sylvan going, well, look what Sylvan did. You guys, the gold standard, along with Okotoks, of what could be done. What did you think when you heard, or maybe you already knew what Mr. Kwame said?
I encourage, people are probably going to look at what we've done, but long before we came along, you mentioned it, we looked at Okotoks first. To me, they're the gold standard. They're the ones that paved the way for this in the entire country, honestly. They're a role model. They're a tough act to follow. But you can learn a lot from an organization like that and their successes and some of their failures too. They were more than happy to share that information with us as we were building this and as we still build it. So kudos to them. They were really like I say, they paved the way. My thoughts on new franchises, I would say, if you can get the municipality on board to be partners, I'm not saying they need to pay for everything, but they need to be partners. Know your market, know the people, and focus on the baseball and the non-baseball. You can do it, but it also takes people. It takes good people to do this. So, and it's a lot of work. I would caution anybody that wants to just think they're going to throw up a franchise in any market and run it on bare bones. It's not going to happen. You need quality people just like any other business.
But you can also attest that it's worth it. It's worth it when it comes to fruition, right?
Absolutely. Every night, every home game night, we sit upstairs here and we watch the people drive in and we kind of look at each other, Jen and I do, and say, we're still in a bit of disbelief. The support we've got received from the entire Central Alberta region is just, it's been mind blowing, honestly, and and we only expect to keep growing it, quite honestly.
Well, as we say, you build it. If you build it, they'll come. They're coming. And I want to say congratulations on all you've done. The gold standard from the guys I talked to, Graham. So I hope to see you in the league final. Moose Jaw Sylvan, let's make it happen. And thanks for the time today, man. Good luck in the playoffs.
You're welcome, Rod. Thanks for having me. Thanks for spotlighting our league a little bit here recently. I've been watching the shows, and it's awesome. And yes, we would love to come to Moose Jaw in about 2 weeks.
That'd be great. Oh, it's been my pleasure. I've loved it, man. It's been the best summer. Graham Schetzel, the owner of the Sylvan Lake Gulls, in our weekly WCBL Roundup.